We had a few people that were getting lost in the weeds on the ag heels, and so we figured we'd show a quick demo to kind of just the basics of what I do to stay in and out of trouble, mostly out of trouble. Is the ag heel is supposed to be where you get the heel out of the way. It's not really a forged, like it's not forged on all sides like a regular heel cock, but you have it to where it gets out of the way of the commissure of the frog, and still you have the width, and then when you turn it around, you have the termination of heel to where you have the full heel cock, and then you have it out of the way of the commissure. And so the one thing is you have to focus your blows. When you make a heel, when we get out, these are the things you focus on. Is if this is how much I'm going to shear off, I'm not worried about this side. Don't worry about this side. This is the side that I'm shearing down. Now, obviously, when you look at your average hammer, this is too big of a radius to try and shear that down. So to shear it down properly, can we get over here? One point of contact is the best way to lock it in on the anvil. If you have it flat, that first hit, it's going to move like this. So you have it slightly up, and you have one point of contact. That's the corner. Now, for you to make a proper heel, I don't want to touch anything in this line, where the line is, and I don't want to touch the heel because that'll take away material from my top. So the only way I can actually make it is if I focus my first blow somewhere in the center with the edge of the hammer. Now I determine how much material that I actually shear down, and then with those I call them like they're kind of experiment blows. I'm experimenting, and I'm slowly bringing, but I'm drawing with my hammer because I don't want to tear down any of this material, because this is sacred weight-bearing material for width, so that I can support the back of the foot and the termination of the heel. So when I'm hitting with my fingers almost below the face of the anvil, and I'm hitting and I'm drawing up like I would draw a Masolot clip. And then I'll repeat the process, and I'll start where the quarter is. The most important thing is where you mess up is if I don't have enough bend in this area to cover the back of the foot, I've already messed up. There's no way I can make the heel properly and have it in line, because I want to have this ideally in line with line of travel, which is my Fullerton marks. So keep your eye when we do the demonstration. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to have my line there, and I'm going to do an exploratory blow and try and hit somewhere in between. Like I say, I don't want to hit here, and I don't want to hit here. So the focus is to try and hit here. Once I get it locked in the corner to where it won't do this anymore, then I'm going to be pulling up on the edge to try and lift up and create material here, not tear away material here. And the same will go for whenever I'm trying to make my quarter. I'm going to push, and I'm pushing a wave, and as I'm picking up, I'm pushing into the corner, and I'm stopping just shy of the high spot at the corner, and then that way I can forge the tip of my check. How much you do here depends on what kind of foot you have. If you draw a straight-sided foot with not much quarter in it, then I wouldn't pick up that much. But if I draw something like you have in real life, which is a late quarter, and it turns in at the very end, this is the most important part of the whole process. Everybody gets lost in this. This is the most important part of the project, because I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and this is literally creating my quarter, and that's what keeps everything in line to where when I flip it down, I can keep her in line with line of travel. You ready? All right, I take just a little bit less than square on 1.25 inches. I pick up, and I'm going to try and shear it down in between the two lines. And once I get it out of my way, now I'm pulling with my hammer to try and pick up that corner. Now I'm going to start where the quarter is, and I'm pushing the wave to the check. and stop just before that check, right before that part. Flatten everything up. That gets rid of all my mushrooming. And then just repeat the process one more time. And then so now I've got my heel and it's already at the angle that I want it to be, and it's curved in. I want to have this edge parallel to the edge of the anvil, regardless of the shape. I've got my best shot of success. I want to have my notch where my quarter starts at the edge of the anvil. And then what I want to do is I want to hit it down, and obviously you would do that with a striker. But coming through here, and as soon as I get a place to where it latches on, I'm not trying to hit from here, I'm hitting straight. And I'm coming from the floor. My hammer blows are coming from the floor. See how little a bend I got? And I didn't tear anything over. So now I got a clean line, but I've got this is all messed up. So I get a parallel. I find the cleanest spot, and I want it just to where it touches on the horn, but I don't want it touching anywhere else. And I hit parallel to the horn. And now I got a parallel. So we have the heel cock. I've got it scored. It's straight. We don't want to hit the top of it until we're pretty well shaped, because if you hit the top, the steel has memory. It's just like making a toe bend. Once you try to change the toe bend, you make a quarter bend, you try to change it, it's really difficult. So we don't want to pull that forward and down until I've got it really close to the shape. Just resist hitting the top. Then when you shape it, I can shape it, move this around, because I can still move this heel a little bit like this without it being set down. But once I set down, then when I change in line with the fullering marks, this will tear. So I just resist hitting the top until you got it really the shape you want. For the medial heel, what I would do is I would start on the lateral side or the outside first. And when I hit, I'm going to narrow it up, but I don't want to hit it straight because that just squishes it straight out. I want to put a lot of sideways swami on it. Then when I flip it over, I put a lot of sideways swami on it. I'm not holding the steel at an angle, I'm just hitting it and that'll tear it this way, tear it that way, and I'll have more of a block, and I'll have more material in my heel cock, because the inside heel cock is a little square and it's not offset. When I narrow up my stock, I'm already set up to be out of the way of the frog and the commissure, so you don't have to check it near as much on the medial aspects as you do the lateral. I have it narrowed up quite a bit, and then I come in here. And again, don't hit the end and don't hit the anvil end. Come in here. I got it out of the way. Start here and push to that corner. And build your corner there. I got the check built, flatten it up. And then just and you can see how much I've got that heel coming in. I've got it square on the end. We're in pretty good shape. All right, I'm gonna line up the back of the check with the edge of the anvil and keep it parallel, this parallel with the face of the anvil. Hit it down a few times, hit the anvil. Once I can feel it score, see, it's locked in. Now there's no need to try and bend it because you're just tearing it. Now I just come straight back in. As soon as it totally bends, I'm coming up from the floor. Check it, flatten it out, and then right here, I'm looking to make sure everything's parallel. I only want it to touch on my heel. So move it up the horn until it's only touching on the inside edge of the upright heel and hit square. And you can see now I got everything going up square. If you're making these ag heels, the more you hit them, the less productive you are. You can only move them over so much before you're just shearing them way out of the picture. These were never meant to be out there to where they're gonna gore themselves with this outside corner. The same with the medial. Once I narrow the stock up, there's no need, because the stock's already narrower, to sit this and get it way out of the picture and push it over. And you'd rather have not enough check and come in with a bastard half round and clean this up. You could move material out of the way, but if you overcheck them and push them too far down, you can wish all you want. And people say they have tricks to get them back over, but there isn't. Once you've overchecked them and you got them out away from sitting on the termination of heel, it's just overforged. So my suggestion is, if you're like in a spot where you really are frustrated, is one, take and just always remember slightly less than square. I'm dealing with inch and a quarter, so probably hang over an inch. On this side, hang over an inch. And then score it, and it's very important to not hit, when you're checking it over the edge, to not hit this corner and not hit this upright corner. See, because if you have a scoop in the center, when this stands up, it gives you excessive material right here at the end of the heel. That allows you to put it up on the horn and parallel everything up. But if it's already leaning at the whole heel cock because you hit the top is leaning out, now you got a mess, because you have all your material past the base, and when you hit it down, it just folds even further away from you. So these are just little tricks, but you'll get back in the groove. But over checking them, over setting them here is a no-no. If you don't have enough, you don't have enough. You could always rasp your check in there. And if you're doing it for the convention, then you got to be just right. But if you're putting these on a horse, you would rather not have enough check right here and rasp it in than you would want to be overchecked and have a big old scallop in there and your heel cock's leaning over and you can't shape your shoe. Again, it's very important not to set these down until you've got your shape and your fit. Then when you got your fit, you just pull these towards you a little bit, put them in line, and life is good. I hope this helped out.